Marvel's secrecy about Daredevil changed the hero's fight with Jennifer Walters in a pretty big way. When Daredevil shows up in episode 8, the two characters end up working together and falling in love. But that's not all. He's also got a new suit. In this video, we'll discuss how the secrecy of Daredevil's new MCU suit changed his fight with She-Hulk, and how the show badly handles a Bruce Banner story. First off, what went on behind the scenes? In episode 8, most of the fight between She-Hulk and Daredevil was CG. That's probably not a secret to other VFX pros. The main reason for this was that Daredevil was a secret. They weren't allowed to bring his costume to the location, so they could only shoot clean plates and stunt driving at the garage. They scanned that garage like crazy because they knew they'd have to put it back together digitally. Then Charlie could only get close-ups of Blue on one day. Up next, how could She-Hulk set up Daredevil again? Before appearing in No Way Home, Cox's Daredevil was last seen in a Netflix show with the same name. The show was a big hit and ran for 3 seasons before it was abruptly cancelled. It showed the character's dark and brooding side and had a serious tone most of the time. She-Hulk Attorney at Law showed a much lighter and funnier Daredevil and a more acrobatic version of the character. It's possible that this new version of Cox's hero is an example of how he'll be portrayed in his upcoming reboot series. Some people have already criticized this new version of Cox's hero, but recent photos of the actor training with an MMA fighter suggest that Daredevil Born Again will still have some of what made the original Netflix show so popular, followed by Daredevil's new relationship with She-Hulk in the reboot. Since Born Again's likely to be connected to the rest of the MCU, it's possible that the show will also talk about Matt Murdock's new relationship with She-Hulk. As usual for MCU shows, the upcoming reboot will likely give hints about characters and stories. The latest MCU show didn't do too well with all Marvel fans, but it did show an interesting new side of Cox's hero. The tone of Daredevil Born Again hasn't been revealed yet, but it seems likely that it'll be somewhere between Attorney at Law and the character's original Netflix show. Since Daredevil's upcoming appearance isn't a secret, it's possible that the reboot will have fewer versions of the character that are all CGI. Moving on to She-Hulk and Daredevil are a thing. The two characters got along right away. Matt even met Jen's family and offered to stay with her in Los Angeles. This hinted that the show's writers are trying to make She-Hulk and Daredevil a thing. Daredevil and She-Hulk have a great relationship because they can be snarky and rude to each other, but at the end of the day, they care about each other and want to fight crime together. Matt shows Jen that she doesn't have to hide from society and wait to be accepted by others. Instead, Daredevil says that She-Hulk can help people when the law fails them, and that Jen can use it to help them when society fails them. Matt teaches her to accept this part of herself and show her that she can be both a great superhero and a successful lawyer. He also shows Jen that not all guys are jerks, and that not everyone wants to take advantage of her being She-Hulk. One of Daredevil's biggest problems is that he finds it hard to get close to people while keeping a part of himself hidden. Since She-Hulk is also a superhero, he wouldn't have to do that, which is better for his emotional balance. Both heroes can get stronger, and in the future, they might be able to work together on bigger missions. Let's learn more about the comic book origins of Daredevil's suit. This yellow and red outfit is actually the first one Matt ever wore in the comics. This is a sign that Daredevil's back to his old self in the MCU. The character going back to his original outfit and keeping the same personality he had in the Netflix show seems to be a clear sign of how Marvel plans to handle him in the future. If this episode is a setup for what'll happen in the next Daredevil movie, Born Again, this suit helps show that Matt's starting over. Matt's suit is his original comic book design, but the colors also mean something to him. Battle and Jane Murdock was Matt's father. He was a boxer, and this Daredevil suit has the same colors as the ones he wore in the ring. Matt wears these colors to fight crime and pays a beautiful tribute to his late father. Jack Murdock was killed because he didn't throw a match like he was supposed to, and Matt will never get over that. Matt decided to fight crime in the first place because his father tried to do the right thing and was killed for it. So, in a literal and symbolic way, this suit is him returning to where he came from. The suit's also different because it wasn't made by the same person who made his usual red and black outfit, and he can't count on the same person he usually works with because he's not in Hell's Kitchen. Back in New York, Melvin Potter used to make Daredevil suits. Now, let's look at how She-Hulk proves how badly Marvel handled a Bruce Banner story. She-Hulk Attorney at Law brought Daredevil into the MCU, but putting him in a relationship with Jennifer Walters showed how poorly Marvel handled an earlier storyline. Even though Daredevil's appearance in Season 1 of Attorney at Law wasn't necessarily to the story, it was funny and showed a healthy connection connection between him and Jennifer Walters. This was especially true after the show showed Jennifer's terrible first dates. She-Hulk Attorney at Law showed how well Matt Murdock and Jen get along on screen, but it also showed how badly the MCU handled another superhero couple. Many of the Avengers have had romantic interests throughout the series, but Natasha Romanoff Black Widow's never had one. Though Avengers Age of Ultron showed that she and Bruce Banner Hulk had something in common, the movie gave the impression that this was going well off screen and that Natasha and Bruce being together in the MCU was something that Marvel was working on. Even though Matt Murdock Daredevil won't be limited to the world of She-Hulk Attorney at Law, he and Jennifer had a real connection, and it was fun to watch their relationship grow, unlike Natasha and Bruce's, which felt forced. Not to mention, Age of Ultron's Hulk romance didn't work. The first scenes of Avengers Age of Ultron showed that the Hulk and Black Widow had an emotional connection that wasn't explained. Natasha brought Bruce back from his Hulk form when they fought Baron Strucker in Sokovia. She said the lullaby, which kept coming up in the Avengers sequel. No other movie in Phase 1 or Phase 2 of the MCU ever showed a romantic interest between the Hulk and Black Widow, unless you count their chase in the Avengers when he turned into the Hulk and started fighting Natasha, which it shouldn't have since it scared her a lot of the time. Natasha and Bruce's relationship seemed to come out of nowhere, and it was also brought up repeatedly in Avengers Age of Ultron. The main characters even try to make it happen by making jokes about it. Cap almost pushes Bruce to go after the relationship instead of waiting too long like Steve did with Peggy and losing his chance. This made Bruce and Natasha's possible relationship feel less natural. It was more like the plot of Age of Ultron was pushing it, even if it meant making bad comparisons between how the Hulk hurt civilians when Wanda took control of his mind and how Natasha's infertility made her feel like a monster. Finally, is Marvel trying to make us forget Hulk's Black Widow romance? Few of us liked the idea of the Hulk and Black Widow dating in the MCU, so their relationship never really took off. Also, at the end of Age of Ultron, the Hulk made Bruce's decision. Keeping the Quinjet's stealth mode on so S.H.I.E.L.D. couldn't find him, he left Earth and pretty much vanished from Natasha's life. The next time the Hulk was in an MCU movie was in Ragnarok. He was in Sakaar, where he was supposed to be getting over the fact that he missed his chance to be with Natasha. Skaar, the Hulk's son, was born on Sakaar. An older Skaar was shown in the Season 1 finale of She-Hulk Attorney at Law. This almost proved that he was born around when the Hulk should have been thinking about Black Widow. The plot choice in She-Hulk Attorney at Law shows that Marvel's trying very hard to make people forget about Bruce and Natasha's failed relationship in Avengers Age of Ultron. And on that note, that's a wrap for this video. What do you think of Daredevil's new MCU suit? Do you think She-Hulk does justice to a Bruce Banner story? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.